everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I present to you, without further ado, wonders of the southwestern United States. This is the view from the High Roller, the world's second tallest observation wheel in Las Vegas, Nevada, just before dark. It's at a time when you can see the beautiful city lights beginning to come on, but you can still see other things, like big elaborately shaped buildings and cars darting across your line of sight. The High Roller lifts you to an altitude about 500 feet and takes half an hour to go around because it goes slowly so that you can savor the ride and the view. You can see the view of the Las Vegas city just around dusk, and it's very pretty, don't you think?
Infrastructure map of the Hoover Dam site. It encompasses all the major components that make up Hoover Dam. We're located right here inside one of the diversion tunnels in the Nevada Canyon walls. Now, to build the Hoover Dam, 5-year construction, and they had to do, the job one was to move the water around the construction site. They did so by blasting out 4 of these tunnels, 2 on the Nevada side, 2 on the Arizona side. Blasted them out to 56 feet in diameter, lined them with 3 feet of concrete. End product, your view out there is 50 feet in diameter. Each one of them range from 3,500 to 4,300 feet in length, about 3/4 of a mile. Took 19 months to blast them all out of solid volcanic rock and line them all with about 400,000 cubic yards of concrete. Once they accomplished that, they built 2 coffer dams, one upriver, one downriver. Upper Coffer Dam, 98 feet tall, lifted the Colorado River into these diversion tunnels, moving the water around a construction site. Lower Coffer Dam was 66 feet tall, prevented water from backfilling into the construction site. Easy peasy. With those 2 dams, they effectively isolated that half-mile area for construction. Once that was accomplished, that area was drained in 135 feet of loose rock and sediment. That was removed to expose bedrock below. Now they're ready to build a dam. So buckets containing 8 cubic yards of concrete, roughly 16 tons of concrete were lowered in those buckets via the cableways as fast as 78 seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 1 week shy of 2 years. First bucket was placed 6 June 1933 at 11:20 a.m. Last bucket was placed May 29, 1935. I don't know what time, okay? Yeah, they didn't tell me. Usually I would know these things, but still pretty impressive, right? Yeah, we can agree on that, but don't be too impressed, because they only got 2 days off a year. Independence Day and Christmas. Yeah, 2 federal holidays. If they would have just put their minds to it, they could have got this thing done 4 days faster. Yeah, come on, that was funny. Maybe not. Once you get past the engineering beauty, the artistic influence, the Art Deco, and all that madness, Hoover Dam came at great human cost. 96 people died during the 5 years of construction. So, once the dam was completed, these 3 diversion tunnels, they shut them down with plugs, concrete plugs, and steel bulkhead doors. That allowed Lake Mead to form. This one stayed open to allow water downriver. 6.5 years for Lake Mead to get up to level. During the last year of construction, the 4 intake towers were built. They built them on a shelf on the canyon walls, 250 feet high. Additionally, they're 395 feet tall. What do? Each one of them feed a 30-foot pipe, 2 3/4 inch steel. We call it a penstock pipe, right out there. That pipe originates from this intake tower, and about 200 feet out there to the left starts feeding a manifold system of 4 13-foot pipes through the turbines spinning the generators. Water is released downriver between U-shaped buildings at the bottom of the dam. Once that infrastructure came into play and water was able to be released down here, that lower coffer dam was destroyed, allow water downriver. Upper coffer dam is intact to this day. Now that vibration you feel below your feet is water passing below your feet in that pipe. It's real subtle right now. When it's at capacity, not even close right now, 96,000 gallons per second, or enough to fill an empty Olympic-sized swimming pool in 6.8 seconds. Spillways, built 27 feet below the top of the dam. They prevent water from going over the dam. How do they do that? Water that approaches the dam within 27 feet in a flood scenario. Water goes into the spillways. They're now connected to the outside diversion tunnels, bypass and release downriver. Water's never been over the top of the Hoover Dam before, but it has been over the spillways twice. Once in 1941 when they tested them, in 1983. Snow melt and heavy rainfall over the western Rockies overwhelmed the upper and lower Colorado Basin. Water crested just 7 feet below the top of the dam. That meant 20 feet of water over the spillways. So between Nevada and Arizona spillways, 200,000 cubic feet per second, the equivalent of Niagara Falls. Water was over the spillways for 63 consecutive days. So once all that infrastructure came into play, concrete plugs were placed there, steel bulkhead doors. Yellow portion is not used anymore, rest of it is. 5 years of construction, folks, explained in 5 minutes.
So we are here in Williams, Arizona, a town in northern Arizona. We're at an altitude of like 7,000 feet, so yeah, pretty high. I'm exploring the woods out back, and there are a bunch of tall, beautiful trees. They look sort of like California redwoods, but they're actually pines. And I think there's some cool stuff up here. Yeah, we have a wall of rocks surrounding an old sort of tree fort. It seems to be the victim of a semi-recent forest fire. It's very dilapidated. There's moss growing on it, and we can't come on because the wood is very unstable. So yeah, we would probably fall. But there are still a couple toy trucks in there for some reason. What's odd is that the forest fire didn't kill the trees. It just sort of singed them and burned some of their branches off. Yeah. There are a few cabins out in the woods. It's a very nice place. I would want to live here. And you can also see the pretty trees. Williams looks really nice at night too. As you can see, there are a lot of rocks and twigs and sprigs of grass. Yeah. I've always been a pretty big fan of places like this. Oh, crap. Yeah, I tripped there for a second. But anyway, as I was saying, it's a very nice, beautiful, great place. I've always been a fan of places like this. So we just got to the Grand Canyon. I've never been here before, but it's like nothing I've imagined. Like, oh my God, it's beautiful. All the warm toned colors sort of gliding into each other, creating this nice contrast. The sheer cliffs, all of it is just so amazing. And sunset pretty soon. We're gonna get to see the sunset over the Grand Canyon. That's gonna be great. And while we're at it, here is this cute little squirrel. We've seen such cute wildlife at the Grand Canyon so far.
Squirrels.
So here we are at the next lookout point. It's just so amazing. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. The arid expanse that goes on for what seems like forever. It's just so unbelievable. The Grand Canyon is truly amazing. It's pretty windy. This is Bryce Canyon, a beautiful, highly elevated national park in Utah. Trees and grass span the beautiful natural formation of Bryce Canyon. This is Capitol Reef, another beautiful national park in Utah, although it's different from Bryce Canyon. Beautiful natural formations in the red rock make this a very attractive national park to visit, but beware, there are some strenuous cliffs and trails. Now it's time for one of my favorite places, the Boneville Salt Flats, an area where the earth is just pure flat salt. You'll be amazed at how bright and flat this area is. It's one of the only places where children are allowed to drive, and since there's nothing to hit, it's a great place to let kids take the wheel for the very first time. And that concludes the Wonders of the Southwest video. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye, adios, ciao, sayonara, and hasta la pasta.